back, ladies and gentlemen, to GeoVax channel, a clinical stage biotechnology company developing novel therapies and vaccines for cancers and many of the world's most threatening infectious diseases. Joining us is David, the Chief Executive Officer, to talk about some milestones in their pipeline today. First and foremost, welcome back, sir.
Thank you, Kyle.
Always a pleasure getting you on. So there's a lot of intriguing milestones that your company's kind of undertaking right now. I mean, COVID has been ramping back up, and you're kind of in these phase 2 studies for immunocompromised and some boosters to the mRNA COVID trials. But do you want to kind of just encompass a lot here? Because you also have cancer immunotherapy that you're fighting for infectious disease related to obviously solid tumors. You got Ebola. I mean, the list is pretty extensive here. So break this down for us. Tell us some of the catalysts and expectations we can expect for the latter half of 2023.
Sure, thank you. And I'll focus on the milestones and the catalyst for the remainder of this year. I think that's very important. But I'm going to start with our next generation COVID-19 vaccine, because there's a lot of noise and news out there about resurgence in terms of the vaccine, the variants, et cetera. And people want to know, what does this mean and all. As you're aware, we have a vaccine which is a next generation vaccine, meaning that it's broader acting and more durable than what we see with the mRNA from everything we can tell. We're in 3 phase 2 clinical trials currently, 2 of which are dealing with the highest risk population for COVID-19, which are those individuals with compromised immune systems. What happens for individuals who have various blood cancers, who have renal disease, et cetera, any type of condition that depletes their body of the ability to respond appropriately or adequately to an antibody stimulation, which is what occurs when you receive the mRNA vaccines or even the monoclonal antibody therapies. And for people with depleted conditions, so who are compromised from an immune system standpoint, they don't respond successfully. And they have been designated as the highest risk population towards severe illness and potential death of COVID-19, so people with blood cancer. We have a trial underway that is dealing specifically with individuals with chronic lymphocytic leukemia. It's a phase 2 trial, just initiated with vaccinations a few weeks ago. It's going to include 80 patients, 40 of whom will receive our vaccine and 40 of whom will receive the Pfizer mRNA vaccine. And in each situation, it'll be as a booster, because they've all been vaccinated, but they haven't well responded to it. So we're trying to see if there's a better protective mode through a vaccine such as ours. So although it just started in vaccination, it's moving at a pace that we anticipate it'll likely be completed yet this year even. So it's being highlighted by the CLL, the Chronic Lymphocytic Leukemia Society. They issued a write-up on it on their website to their patients, to the patient populations earlier this week. We have another phase 2 trial, which also includes immunocompromised patients. These are individuals with blood cancers who've gone through stem cell transplantation. And again, they represent a very high risk group. In this case, however, we're evaluating our vaccine as the primary vaccine, and it's also in a direct comparison to the mRNA vaccines. So an individual will come into that study, and they'll be randomized. They will either receive our vaccine or they'll receive either the Pfizer or the Moderna, so an mRNA vaccine. That study is going to include approximately 260 patients. We're currently expanding it to multiple sites on not just throughout the U.S., but also internationally. That's going to take probably more of a year to a year and a quarter or thereabouts, but we expect to start announcing the expansion of additional sites within the next few weeks, frankly. So we're looking at that one. And the third trial that we have is healthy individuals who initially received an mRNA vaccine, but as a booster, they're receiving our vaccine instead of another shot, which would probably be their 3rd or 4th shot, frankly, of an mRNA. This is going to be a trial with 60 patients. We're close to completing the enrollment on this one, but we're going to track these individuals for at least 6 months, because we believe we'll demonstrate not only more robust as a booster, but also greater durability, meaning lessening the need to have to come back and get another shot. So this is very important to us when we look at these 3 phase 2 clinical programs. This is a primary focus, as you might imagine, for us as the company. The other area that we have as a clinical trial is our product, which has a brand name called Gedeptin. That's spelled Gedeptin. Gedeptin simply stands as an acronym for talking about a gene-directed enzyme prodrug therapy. So a whole mouthful there. But what this is targeted is this is a separate type of technology, but it's in a well accepted, already authorized type of vaccine technology that delivers a particular enzyme. It gets injected directly into a solid tumor. In this case, we're dealing with advanced head and neck cancer patients, people who are literally on palliative care. They've failed on all other treatments. There are about 15,000 people in the U.S. every year that represent this population. They're the ones that end up dying from advanced head and neck cancer because nothing has worked. We're trying to give them a better quality of life by shrinking their tumors. They get injected into the tumor, and then it's followed by an infusion of an established drug. It's a drug that does nothing for solid tumors. It's called Fludara. It's really a hematologic cancer chemotherapy. But when it's used in conjunction with Gedeptin, it actually converts to be very toxic to the tumor. And what we've seen is consistent shrinkage of the tumors when they get injected with this. It's been shown to be extremely safe. In July, at the International Conference of the American Association of Cancer Research in the Head and Neck Cancer Society, they had a joint conference in Montreal. The data were presented on our product, and it showed consistent safety. But perhaps more importantly, but of course safety is critically important. But these are end-stage patients. It showed a consistent effect on reducing the tumor size. So we're quite excited about this program also, as it'll be completing its phase 2 program yet this year. And then we'll be meeting with the FDA to discuss going forward with an expanded, larger trial, hopefully towards registration. So we're quite excited about that. The two other areas that we have, last November, we acquired the rights from NIH to the basis of what is currently the stockpiled and authorized vaccine against monkeypox and smallpox. You may recall last year when everybody was running around about monkeypox and all, there was not enough product to go around, not only in the U.S., but certainly worldwide. And there's only one supplier of this vaccine worldwide. It's a small company out of Denmark. Where we looked at it, and we're experts at working with this type of technology or this vaccine technology. It's what's the basis of our COVID-19 and all of our infectious disease products. So we acquired the rights from NIH to be able to move forward with what we anticipate will be the first U.S.-based vaccine against monkeypox and smallpox. And we are already in the process of doing the manufacturing and interacting with regulatory authorities about having an expedited pathway for this one. So we're quite excited about this. And then lastly, although it's not a product, it doesn't get people quite as excited as it does for those of us internally. But we also have initiated what will be viewed and is viewed as an advanced transformative manufacturing process behind our infectious disease vaccines that is going to result in being able to produce much higher quantities in a much shorter time period at a lower cost. So we're quite excited because that will enable us, for instance, to not only increase the supply of monkeypox vaccine worldwide, but also to ensure that there is no contractions when there is a huge demand that we end up running out as we did last year. So those represent our major milestones this year. So 4 of them are on the 4 clinical trials, 3 with our COVID-19 vaccine, 1 with Gedeptin. The other one is related to our monkeypox, smallpox, and then there's the advanced manufacturing system. And I'll just say that latter is very important because the U.S. federal government has an initiative underway that is in support of advanced transformative manufacturing systems that can drive and deliver real benefits. Nothing could be better than driving a new technology that is lower cost, that enables you to produce much greater volume of product in a shorter time period, and also to be able to deliver that product in a freeze-dried versus frozen state. That's what we're focused on and what we're achieving or working to achieve for the remainder of this year.
Well, when we come back, we're going to dive into this a little bit further, but I'll pass the question off to the viewers. We'd love to know what you think about that in the comment section below. So perhaps we can also do an investor Q&A and subscribe, because as these catalysts and news continue to hit the wire, we're going to update you here. But on that, as always, we look forward to catching you in the next one.